Sedaj vabim govorce sem k mizi, publiko pa, da si zastavi vprašanje in potem na glas postavi. I would like to ask Mr. Damjani to take a seat here or there. Egon, prosim, patone. Goste sprašujemo v angleščini, lepo vas prosim. Kar izvolite. Kdo se bo pogovoril? Jaz ne.
I have a question to Vitaly Bezrogov. If I read it right, the authors of the school books changed little.
Yes.
But the titles change. Are the authors very flexible, or did they lost the orders from the ministry?
I've taken a series of school textbooks which was prepared roughly by one team of authors. It was one interesting man in the late 70s, and his name was Goretsky, and he united a team of authors, and then the concept and the tradition and the work of this team continued. Several members of this team were rotated, but Czeslaw Goretsky, he died in 2009. And we can say that during these 30 years, it was one team who prepared. Of course, during the Soviet time, it was the standard school textbooks. There was a policy not to allow to be many different textbooks in the school. So state policy was to try to fulfill the idea one subject, one textbook. But after the collapse of the USSR, you can find many school textbooks, but these themes still exist on the top. We have got 17 different sets now, and this set is in the first 5 leaders. And in this case, we can try to trace the changing which was reflected by not the same, but semi-same group of people.
Thank you.
Najlepša hvala. Kar izvolite. Tematik je veliko, sorodnih in različnih obustnih. Jaz nimam rezervnega scenarija, izvolite.
Perhaps a question to all of professors. You were all talking about different organizations in different systems, but all organizations have one thing in common. They are organized in order to indoctrinate youngsters. Now, was there a possibility to avoid this indoctrination? Was there a space for subversive actions performed by youngsters, to rebel? Was there a place for rebellion, which in political but also in cultural and social terms?
Thank you very much for this interesting question. Let's begin with our Italian colleague, maybe.
I think that the Gilles organization, for my experience, is an example to organize and to discipline the young people. But in real terms, it's not possible to say how the organization improved that. How could I say? It's difficult to say how the organization reached their purposes, because parents and, for example, other associations went against this alignment, and it's difficult to give a result of this purposes.
You are allowed to speak in Slovenian, you can just izvolite.
Nisem zbiral angliške besede. Kot sem že na samem začetku večkrat poudaril, razmere na spodnjem Štajerskem pod nemški okupacijski coni so vendarle bile toliko stroge, ta teror je bil tako agresiven in ta prisila dejansko, da je tako totalitarna, da to v neki subverzivni dejavnosti, jaz mislim, da v začetku, vsaj v prvih letih, vsaj kar se tiče pogovorov z temi pričami, skratka, za te ustni vidi, s katerimi sem imel pravka, nihče ni tega omenil v tej zadevni obliki. Seveda, ko se je začela zadeva razpadati, leta 44 jesen, skratka, so bili nočni pobegi, pa tudi recimo fante so poklicali, da grejo kot ekipa k flakom, recimo vzeli most, pa so recimo sabotirali, policija sploh ni šla se je poskrila. Takrat je to že bilo možno, ampak delovanje, subverzivno delovanje stilo, recimo neke totalne organizacije znotraj, recimo kraja, orožja, opreme, kot si predstavljamo, jaz tega primera ne poznam, pa sem to spominsko literaturo relativno, mislim, da poznam tudi samo literaturo. Je pa zdaj, seveda pa treba zdaj razumeti, koliko je nek politično motiviran upor, recimo, od nekega, v bistvu, kaj jaz vem, mi v jugoslovanski vojski smo tem rekli hvatanja krivine, recimo. Skratka, da si se izogno, da si, kaj jaz vem, se potuhno, da nisi bil pač toliko aktiven, kot se recimo pričakovali od tebe. Seveda je bila pa gotovo, je bila pa neka prikrita, v bistvu bi rekel, nek ideološki odpor. Fantje so se recimo norčevali z tega na samem, ko so bili sami, ampak politično motivirani, so osvobodilni gibanje povezana podtalna dejavnost znotraj tega, pa meni ni znana. In bi bila tudi 14-15-letnih fantov v enem mestu, kot je bilo Celje, mislim, da precej iluzorno pričakovati. Zlasti po hudem terorju leta 42, ki je v glavo dejansko. To se prestrašil.
Če jaz slovenščini. To je odvisno, kot vidimo, tudi od ostalih referentov, kot je odvisno od moči represije in od trajanja represije. Vedno pa je prostor za te subverzivne dejavnosti in grejo tako, kot kolega pravi, od teh švejkovskih figur do sabotaž in potem do tega ostalega. V Julijski krajini je tega dosti je tudi dokumentirano, že Milica v Lepici dosti tega dokumentirala. To bi lahko tema za eno zborovanje, te vrste odpora in možnosti odpora. Mogoče kaže to v Julijski krajini kot fašizmov metodo, je ta fašizmus teorija oziroma manjša totalitarna definicija, manjša totalitarnost fašističnega režima, pravi nacionalni socializmu. Morda, ampak ne verjamem, da sem tudi podobno sem dogajala tudi tukaj.
Najlepša hvala.
Firstly, I would like to stay not with my topic, but to say that there are a lot of studies about, for example, the filling of children in the camps, in the Hitler-Jugend camps. And for example, there are several articles written in German. The author is Oliver Dösler, and he studied very bad filling. So he studied how children were divided. There were children for whom the system, who liked the system, and who didn't like it, who couldn't to be within, and the system pushed them away. So, and saying a little bit about school textbooks, I could say that, of course, it's a little bit not too easy to trace this avoidance and rebellion, not to trace, but to investigate how this avoidance and rebellion made the indoctrination worse, because several indoctrinational level school children took unconsciously. But if we would like to speak a little bit about avoidance and rebellion, we can see that the using of school textbooks, for example, drawings made by school children in their own copy of school textbook. This is the first one. The second, it was a very interesting practice. I've collected several recollections of childhood where people talk about how they prepared their own text for their children, or children recollected that did their fathers. So, for example, there was one intelligent professor in one South Russian city, and he didn't like school textbooks, and he prepared his own text for his small daughter, and he used this text at home, so as a kind of contrary. And the third way was the reading between the lines. Sometimes school children took the essence, the means which the constructors of school textbook would not like them to allow, or even they had not thought that they could took such. And it is interesting that sometimes you can meet this process even in the Soviet movies made during the Soviet times. And the fourth way, and I would like to finish with this, was to produce several regional school textbooks which were not so ideologically orientated. The far from the Moscow, you could find, not in every region, but in several, you can find several school books with the less level of doctrination.
Thank you very much.
I have a question on the relation between school and fascist and Nazi organizations. So I apologize if it has been already answered in Slovenian, I don't know. I have the impression that although school was an important tool, youth was organized outside of school. So there was a sort of trying to circumvent school. Maybe because there was a resistance within it on the part of the teachers. School was a very, since the late 19th century, it was a strong state tool of control. So maybe fascist regimes could not really totally control it. So they had to organize youth also outside school. The Hitler Jugend didn't go through the school. It was school children, but this means children of school age, or it went through the school classes.
Everything was so tight, so connected. Actually, organization Hitler Jugend, Deutsche Jugend in this Slovenian area, and German school, because you have to know that all Slovenian schools under occupation were closed, and new German schools were established where the German language was only language was German language, so Slovenian language was forbidden. And the same was
So it was in your school?
Yes, also in high schools, and also in organization Deutsche Jugend. And what I mentioned before, the school teachers, German school teachers in schools were also the leaders of units of Hitler Jugend. So everything was like this, with hand in hand. They worked with hand in hand.
You can address the same question to Dr. Damiani.
Is this enough or?
Yes, it's the same. I just wanted to say something on school meals, that they have been used since the late 19th century as a means of promoting school attendance. But I assume that in this case they are intensified and used in another context.
Yes, 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 of course. The basics of education, or policy of education during the occupation was Germanization and Nazification of Slovenian children. This is the main point.
Shall we address the same question to Dr. Damiani about the fascist youth organization?
Yes.
No,
I would like to hear it.
I had the impression that in Germany,
Yes.
the school was not in Germany. I have the impression, I am not an expert, that they tried to circumvent it. Hitler and the Hitler regime tried to circumvent school. So yes.
No, for the fascist regime, it was easier to create another association like GIL or NEB, respect to transform the schools, because teachers and the other leader are in opposite of fascist ideas. And in Slovenia, for example, GIL organization took away a lot of teachers, and some teachers from Italy were located in Slovenia to substitute these persons. So it's different with German.
It's the same.
Julian march is almost the same, like in Nazi occupation zone. But the main idea was to occupy the free time. Erst kommen sie in die Umfeld, man sucht auf die Hitlerjugend, es gibt so Arbeitsdienst, als Arbeitsdienst, als abends der SS, und dann kommen sie in die Armee und dann, das ist Hitlerjugend. Und dann kommen sie dort, das ist dort 2 Jahre erzogen zu den Deutschen, zu den Menschen und so weiter. Und das, the same,
English, please.
yes, and the same is the same situation we have in Julian March. So you have this the Lupa, Gioventù Militare Fascista, and so on, yeah. Dopo lavoro, and so on. So to occupy as much as possible the time, free time.
Same situation also under German occupation area. When children, when were they in the school, so German teacher took care of them, and they tried to work with them. And afternoon, after the school, the Deutsche Jugend leaders took over.
May I just a word about how to be against the power? We have one case in Italian occupied territory from one high school where the people didn't want to give a fascist hand. So they were all thrown out of the school. And I would ask then, Professor Damiani, have you found some papers or sources about forcing a pupil to join into GIL to give them the state grant? Because we have in some memoirs that we could probably get a grant, but we didn't want to be members of the GIL.
In the archive, there are not much documents that say that talking about, for example, a number of children or parents that oppose it to the alignment. And like I said before in the presentation, in 15 days they reached in Ljubljana 45 children in GIL. I think, in my opinion, it's excessive number of inscription, and I think it's not possible to recreate a real situation of sentimental of people and children.
Jaz sam na hitro se vprašala, kaj se je pa zgodilo s temi otroci, mladostniki po vojni, kako so na njih gledali, so bili mogoče deležni kakšnega šikaniranja ali ne vem, mogoče drugačnega tretiranja, pač. Za vas, gospod.
Ne poznam to vrstnega primera, skratka, da bi to, za kakršnekoli paralele, recimo z mobiliziranjem nemško vojsko, kaj podobnega ne. Ti fantje, skratka, v bistvu ljudje so vedeli. Na zadnje, imamo kar nekaj prominentnih politikov, kasnejših, ki so bili recimo Stane Dolanci, tipičen premislim, da Stane Grovet tudi. Skratka, kar nekaj jih najdemo, to je bilo nekaj, ampak Stane Dolanci, dokler ni recimo šel na drugo brigado, skratka, predsednik fantov je tudi šlo, ko so malo odrasli recimo partizane. Načeloma so se pa zelo hitro, skratka, so ta korak zamenjali za drug korak, ne? Skratka, vse zadeve v bistvu niso se predvsej nalagajo, zato sem jaz prej poudaril, malo časa že zmanjkovalo, ampak se to bila neka tradicija, te uniformiranosti, športnega duha, zdravim telesu, to ni bil nek novo, skratka, in kasneje se je zadeva samo v bistvu preobrnila, zdaj pa ti fantje, vsaj govorimo težno fanti, dejansko niso bili udeleženi neposredno, recimo kot so bili Wehrmannschaftovci, recimo, v nekih akcijah, v katerih bi jih tako ali drugače recimo zaznamovali oziroma in to vrstnih primerov ne poznam, da bi kdo bil za tega šikaniran. Plus tega, konc leta, mislim, proti koncu okupacije se sistem že razpadel. Sicer so še včlanjevali, to skratka, nove rekrute, ampak dejansko ta zadeva ni več funkcionirala. Bombni napadi, skratka, levo, desno, bil en kaos, in ta zadeva ni več funkcionirala.
Jaz se bojim, da moram zaključiti, ker smo že tukaj prekoračili četrture, se pravi, najlepša hvala referentom, thank you very much for your papers, hvala publiki za vprašanje in odmor.